Hi there. I have had a lot of interest or questions actually about how I build my canvases for the emotional culture deck workshops, the teams that I work for on that. And I thought I would do a little quick video just to explain some key points that may or may not be helpful for those of you out there that are looking at how to build your canvases and kind of what to do after your workshop. So I'll just point out a couple of things. As you can see, here is a physical canvas that I've just built. This is quite a smallish team, and the part 1 workshop was done virtually actually during lockdown. And so I do like to build a physical canvas. I know we're in an age of doing things digitally, and if there is a team that are working remotely and not together without a physical workspace, then you would probably put this as a digital board on using something like Miro, which we could do as a separate video maybe. But this is the canvas that I build following the workshops. So they're not, although I've got all the output from the workshops, it's not really built in a legible way. So that's what I can bring as a facilitator. So the key things is, if you have a physical workspace, have a physical canvas. And then when you build the canvas, although you could type it up, I build it with Post-its. I know some people have an aversion for Post-its. I don't happen to be one of those. So the reason I do it with Post-its is because I believe this should be a real central part of the visual management. And part of visual management is that it's not only informative, but it's interactive. So the Post-it notes provide an interactive element to it. When I write up these Post-it notes, I do them as verbatim. So I'll have a lot of verbatim Post-it notes that are provided after a workshop, or they'll be provided on flip charts or something. I write them up neatly on here with Post-it notes. And as you can see, I make them quite colourful. The reason being, I want them to be visually attractive so people are drawn to them. But again, when I write them up, using the comments of the people on the workshop is very important, because you want to speak in their language. It's their culture, their language. And so as long as you can understand it, that's what I do. And also part of my role as a facilitator is making sure when they're doing the interactive workshop, they are writing things down so that they understand them later on. The third thing is just around actions. Now, normally actions are done towards the end of the workshop, and there's actually a lot more Post-it notes normally, but people were quite tired and they'd run out, because it was virtual, we were kind of running out of steam. So we haven't got much here. Normally you would have a lot more, but the actions I find in the workshop are a little bit high level, a little bit woolly, and they need a little bit more target focus of what they are, how they're going to do them, how they're going to measure them. And also, you don't want too many. I mean, there aren't many here, I know, but that was because we hadn't got time to do lots of action planning. But even when we do, I just do it as a brainstorm. So the follow-up session is where we do the proper action planning, and we come down to the few critical actions, of which really 5 to 7, but I say 5. Overwhelmed, it's here. One of the top undesired feelings has come on every single canvas that I've done as being one of the top undesired feelings, if not the top one. So we don't want to overwhelm people with any more long lists of actions. So 5, because it is important to do something. Otherwise, why just have a cool workshop if you're not going to do anything or change anything to cultivate that culture? So as you can see, there's nothing is here at the moment, but actually yesterday I had the follow-up to this workshop. So I took this canvas along. In the follow-up workshop, I get people to have a look at the canvas, see if anything needs chopping and changing, because even in the month or 6 weeks to which they had the initial workshop to the follow-up, a lot of stuff can change. So some of these Post-its may not be an issue anymore, or they may find that they want to add stuff because it's been percolating in their mind. But what I do is I find that in this canvas there are themes that come out, and I pull those out and use them for the action planning. So this is a bit rough and ready, but as you'll see here, there was a theme around reward and recognition. There was a theme around supporting each other. There was a theme around having fun. There was a theme around communicating and connecting. So in the follow-up, I get people into small groups of about 3 or 4, and I use these themes as stations, and each group comes up with one action. And so you have a few actions on each theme from each team, and then they vote. Sticky dots, works every time. And then from them, the votes with the top 5 with the most votes, they are their top critical actions. We give them an owner, we give them a date, we look at how we're going to measure it, and ta-da, we have some accountability. So I hope that's helpful. Physical canvas, make it visually attractive, write it up in their language, look at the themes that come through for action planning, and in the follow-up, use that as the basis of your action planning. Hope that was helpful.